Hey guys, Lost here, and I have been reviewing mods for a ton of different games recently, from Arma 3 to Skyrim to Fallout 4, all things like that, and now I've come to a new game, and that is Hearts of Iron 4. So I'm going to review some great mods, some of the greatest, the top 5 mods in fact, for Hearts of Iron 4. I hope you guys enjoy. So does it ever upset you a little bit that when you drop nukes on other enemy nations, it only ruins their infrastructure but actually does not do any damage to the troops in the area? Well, it does make me mad. That's why this next mod is going to fix that. Realistic nukes will destroy almost all of the units in a single little tile. Yes, it's one tile. They don't explode over hundreds of miles of area. It will destroy all the troops, or at least most of the troops, in one little sector. So yes, the infrastructure is still damaged as well as the troops in the area. Unfortunately, the civilian population is still not affected and their manpower will remain unchanged, which is hopefully something I'd like to see implemented in the future. But at least now, the nukes are deadly and you actually have a reason to build them, and they are quite effective when it comes to bombing other enemy nations. This next mod continues to offer a little bit more in immersion, and this is the Black Ice Total Overhaul mod. This mod aims to make the game more immersive and historical while remaining to be a challenge and an experience for the players. The mod is mainly more aimed for a single player versus an AI type setting, but you can use it in multiplayer and it is compatible. Black Ice offers a ton of content when it comes to changing how the game works. There are tons of new technologies that you can research and advance to give you an edge over the other nations. There's also more realistic things when it comes to outfitting your soldiers and things you have to build with tanks, weaponry, and machinery. It's one of those mods where once you try it, you really can't live without, because it's such a change and it makes such a difference that it's almost like playing a completely different game in terms of all the fundamentals that this mod changes. One of my personal favorite changes is something I had just mentioned, and that's when it comes to equipping your soldiers on the battlefield. No longer will recruiting soldiers simply be making one type of equipment and they all go. You'll now have to specialize the equipment you make for what type of divisions you recruit. So you'll have to create weapons and uniforms, but not only will you have to create uniforms, if you have a mountain division, you'll have to make mountain warfare equipment with that as well. So the multiple units will take multiple different types of gear to make, instead of just simply falling under one umbrella like I'd said before. So if you are looking for a mod that can make the game more realistic and immersive, then the Black Ice mod for Hearts of Iron 4 is the way to go, because that will really give you the best all-around change to your game that you are looking for. Up here at number 3, we have a mod that takes Hearts of Iron 4 out of the World War II setting and propels it forward into the modern day. It starts off by giving you two options: to take place just before the War on Terror begins, and closer to modern day just before the United States holds its election. Every country has accurate flags as well as leaders, and so much more that completely fleshes out this mod. There are modern day scandals and events that take place. There are also modern day things to research and new paths on the focus tree for every country that completely apply to the modern day setting. The M1s have turned into M4s, and some of the planes have turned into drones. You can try to solve your problems diplomatically and taking territory that way, or you can go to war. And by the way, making nuclear bombs is much easier, so if you're using the Realistic Nukes mod, you might want to be careful. However, with the existence of NATO and other superpowers like Russia and China, doing things aggressively and going to war might not end too well depending on which country you are. This mod definitely takes kind of a touch, and you have to learn the ins and outs of it, because things work a little differently in the modern day compared to World War II. At number 2 is a mod that was put on the mod database's top 100 mods for 2016. So the community voted, and the Great War mod was placed at number 1 on that list. However, on this list, it is placed at number 2. This mod does much of the same thing that the Millennium New Dawn mod does, except instead of going forward, it goes back a couple of years, bringing us back to World War I. Like before, all of the factions and countries have their own leaders and flags, as well as things that go on in that time period and political decisions you have to make. Use the focus tree to form alliances and decide when you want World War I really to break out, or how you want to go about doing it. You can take control of the German Empire and invade Russia. Only after a little while will there be a revolution and will Russia fall and become communist. Or perhaps you could start heading west and try to break through France and work through the trenches while dropping bombs with zeppelins instead of normal planes. All of the equipment and many other factors have been reworked to place you really into the era of World War I and completely changes how the game works. So finally at number 1, we are going to continue backtracking before World War I, more than 100 years ago, all the way to the Napoleonic era. It was a simpler time back then where the United States was roughly a third of its size and territory, and much of Africa hadn't even been touched by Great Britain yet. You can control the empire in France with Napoleon, or you can control other dynasties all around the world to really carve out your territory in many unclaimed areas. Like in the 2 previous mods, all of the things have been reworked to fit the time period with diplomacy and technology, industry, things you can build, and soldiers that you can recruit. This is truly a fantastic mod, one that offers a lot of diversity compared to what you will normally see in a lot of other mods, or just in Hearts of Iron 4 in general. So that's all I really have to say about this without kind of repeating myself some more. So we're getting to the end here. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys for watching. There'll be links in the description. I will see you guys later.